So my name is Nicole Busch, and I'm very happy to be here to share a little bit about what brought me to St. Peter's and why I keep coming back. All right. You guys hear? Okay. Turn mic up? How do I do that?
It's on.
Okay.
It's on, just pretend.
All right. So my husband Greg and I have served on the vestry and volunteered in other capacities for the nearly 10 years that we have attended St. Peter's, which really seems like a lot at this point. But what I like to think that what we really offer is that with our 4 kids, we bring fun. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you guys ever have a party where you need to fill a table, we can do that. If you're ever worried there are too many cookies at coffee hour, just mention it to my kids and they'll have it covered for you. So speaking of the kids, our 3 oldest attended preschool here, and as residents of Old Ellicott City, we have twice benefited from the generosity of St. Peter's when the floods downtown forced us to go through checkpoints to get home and destroyed the homes and businesses of many of our neighbors. And I've discussed that in this sort of forum in the past, and today I'm going to talk about something different but related, which is love. So when Greg and I moved to Old Ellicott City, we were expecting our first child. And we had a shared vision of church being a cornerstone of our family life, but we didn't quite have a shared religious background. But there was one thing on which we were both in agreement, and that is we needed to attend a church that not only talked about love, but lived it, especially of our affirmation of our LGBTQ brothers and sisters in Christ. You see, Greg and I each have a gay sibling who we love dearly, and we've seen the pain that exclusion from religious communities can cause, so much so that someone we love has turned their back on faith. Not only did we not want to be part of a church that could cause anyone that kind of pain, but we didn't want our children to get even a hint that there was something wrong with their aunt or their uncle because of who they love. We were looking for a church that believes and embodies the truth that each and every one of us is fearfully and wonderfully made. Fortunately, there is a website that can help with that called gaychurch.org, and it lists St. Peter's as an affirming church. And we thought, great, it's right up the street, this is perfect. So we visited St. Peter's, and we also visited a couple of other churches, including another one right up the road. But early parenthood was really stressful. We had one colicky baby, and then we had a second colicky baby, and it was very difficult for us to find time for church in those days. But when we finally did find ourselves back here after the 2016 flood, it felt right. And it still feels right. It feels right because the congregation at St. Peter's loves us. It loves all of us. Whether it's through outreach or showing up for our neighbors, it's a reminder that church isn't about Sunday mornings. It's about being the hands and feet of Christ in the world around us. So what I don't think I truly appreciated when we were looking for a church that loves everyone explicitly and profoundly, regardless of orientation, is that a church that loves everyone explicitly and profoundly explicitly and profoundly loves. As our family has grown, our children are learning these values within this congregation. They are surrounded by people who show them what it means to live out Christ's love, to ask questions, to serve others, and to know that they are fully welcomed and valued here. Even if they do make a little too much noise on occasion, and I am sorry about that. I've been thinking about the road we have ahead of us as a congregation as we look for our next rector. And I remember what one of our fellow congregants said to me the last time we went through this, which is, the priest is not the church. The priest is not the church. The priest is not the church. The church is us, and God working through us. It's this community of people who show up for one another, who love one another without conditions, who serve and worship together, and who carry that love out into Old Ellicott City and the world. Priests come and go, although I'm sure Bill Rodney would love for a priest to come along anytime now. But God's presence and the love that fills this congregation will endure. This is why I have faith that we will continue strong as ever as a church, and why my family keeps coming back. So thank you. Thank you for being the kind of church where love lives, where the neighbors matter, and where both adults and children can experience the grace of belonging. Thank you.